Have you ever stopped to think about how those massive airplanes you see soaring through the sky actually get from one place to another before they take off? I mean, we're talking about these colossal machines that can weigh hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's not like they can just roll down the street on their own, right? So, how do they move? Well, let me take you on a journey into the fascinating world of transporting airplanes on heavy vehicles. First, let's set the scene. Imagine you're standing at an airport and you see a massive cargo plane being loaded with equipment and supplies. It's impressive, isn't it? But what happens when that plane needs to be moved from one location to another? That's where the heavy transport vehicles come into play. These are not your average trucks. These are specialized machines designed specifically for moving oversized loads. They can handle the weight and size of aircraft with ease, and that's no small feat. Now, you might be wondering, how do they even load an airplane onto one of these vehicles? Great question. The process is quite intricate and requires a lot of planning. First, the aircraft is prepared. This involves removing any loose items that could shift during transit, securing the wings, and sometimes even detaching the engines. Safety is paramount, and every step is carefully calculated to ensure the plane remains intact during the journey. Once the aircraft is ready, it's time to bring in the heavy transport. These trucks often use a system of hydraulic lifts and ramps to gently raise the airplane and position it onto the flatbed. It's a delicate operation, and it takes a skilled team to maneuver everything just right. The drivers of these heavy vehicles are like the pilots of their own flying machines, navigating the challenges of transporting something so valuable and fragile. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The routes they take. Transporting an airplane isn't as simple as driving down the highway. There are strict regulations and guidelines that must be followed. The trucks often have to take alternative routes to avoid low bridges, narrow roads, or busy city centers. This means that the transport teams must plan their routes meticulously, sometimes even coordinating with local authorities to ensure everything goes smoothly. It's a logistical puzzle that requires a lot of foresight. And let's not forget about the sheer size of these transports. Some of these heavy vehicles can be over 100 feet long. Imagine driving that down a city street. It's a spectacle in itself, and it often draws a crowd. People stop and stare, taking pictures and marveling at the sight of an airplane being transported like a giant oversized piece of cargo. It's a reminder of just how incredible engineering can be. But what about the challenges? Oh, there are plenty. Weather can play a huge role in the transport process. High winds, rain, or snow can delay or even cancel a transport. Safety is always the priority, and if conditions aren't right, the move might have to be postponed. Additionally, the weight of the aircraft can cause issues on certain roads. Some areas may not be able to support the heavy load, which means the transport team has to be strategic about their path. And then there's the time factor. Moving an aircraft isn't a quick process. Depending on the distance, it can take days or even weeks to transport a plane from one location to another. That's a lot of planning and coordination, especially when you consider that the airplane is often scheduled for flights or maintenance at its destination. The pressure is on to ensure that everything stays on track. Now, let's talk about the technology involved. Heavy transport vehicles are equipped with advanced systems to assist in the movement of these gigantic loads. GPS tracking, for instance, allows the transport team to monitor their route in real time and adjust as needed. Some vehicles even have systems that can automatically level the load, ensuring that everything remains stable during transit. It's a blend of engineering and technology that makes this process possible. And here's a fun fact. Transporting airplanes isn't just limited to cargo planes. You'll find that smaller aircraft like private jets and military planes also need to be moved at times. The same principles apply, but the equipment and methods might vary slightly depending on the size and weight of the aircraft. It's a versatile operation that spans across different types of aviation. So, why does all of this matter? Well, understanding the process of transporting airplanes on heavy vehicles gives us a greater appreciation for the complexities of the aviation industry. It's not just about flying, it's about the entire ecosystem that supports it. From the engineers who design the planes to the transport teams who move them, every role is crucial in keeping the skies safe and efficient. Next time you're at an airport and you see a plane, take a moment to think about the journey it took to get there. The planning, the logistics, the teamwork, all of it plays a part in making air travel possible. It's a reminder that behind every flight is a story, a process, and a whole lot of hard work. So, whether you're a plane enthusiast or just someone who appreciates the marvels of modern engineering, the next time you hear about transporting airplanes, remember the heavy vehicles that make it all possible. It's a world that often goes unnoticed, but it's essential to the aviation industry. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll find yourself watching one of these transports in action, and you'll have a newfound appreciation for the incredible journey that aircraft undertake before they take to the skies.